he was in goal. Oh wait, or is he? I don't know. Williams. He started? He has his gloves on.
No, on the bench. He's on the bench.
What's up, sir? Everything alright, sir? Good, sir? Okay, so who do we have today, sir? Can I move over this a little bit? Yes, sir. What we have today, sir? Constant Spring home? Meadforest. Oh.
Last time they faced wait, hold on.
Huh.
You know they faced Constant Spring already?
They did already, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% certain. It's either Constant. No, it's
You get it wrong.
Oh no, it's not there. Hold on.
Farmer, you got it wrong, farmer.
Yes, we did. And this strike, remember this?
Oh yeah.
So, where you trying to say? Are you playing this or something?
No, remember that each team, remember that they have to play
Yeah, 2 time or something?
Right.
Oh.
So this is the second time.
It's like Premier League.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first of 2 of the KSAFA Super League doubleheader here at the Constant Spring football field. My name is Christopher Scott, and I have the boss with me, Brandon Carvalho, and of course the cameraman, Janoy Powell. And don't forget, this doubleheader will be featured on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as our website and mobile app, Island Sports Network. Don't forget, it's 500 Jamaican dollars per month, and you can work that out. That is about 6,000 Jamaican dollars for the year. And like I said, for the second time, actually, we're streaming these 2 teams facing off against each other. It will be the second and last time these 2 face each other. As Constant Spring, they are facing off against Meadforest. So just to give you the lineup: in goal, John-Luke Wilmot for Constant Spring, then Jason Dennis, Tafari Rubble, Rashawn Martin, Kimani Bennett, Rowan, then Everton Ricketts, Ronaldo Moore, Ramon Brevitt, Ricardo Marsh, Tariq Wilmot, and Javier Wilmot. And then on the bench, Rowan Parker, then Marshall Roberts, Shezway Twine, Carlton Salmon, Shamari Marsh, William Price, and Rowan Shea. William Price coming back for Constant Spring, and former goalkeeper for Harborview, and now here with Constant Spring. And then for Meadforest, as they get ready to kick off, Jamari Dallas, Jodek Gordon, that's the person in goal. Then Tavoy Goldspring, Steve Green, Rodari Edwards, Dale Reed, Orlando Brown, Ian Davis, Amari Edwards, Devon Salmon and Dylan Edwards. And then on the bench, Tyrese Sims, Theodore Artwell, Shavar Whitaker, O'Shane Aarons, Deshaun Melbourne, Rashane Dallas, and then Patrick Dixon, Orlando Ellis, and DeAndre Walker. And of course, the coach for him is Karoom Huey. That's for Meadforest. And then the coach for Constant Spring is Maurice Lynn. And the last time these two face off, we actually streamed that match, and Constant Spring lost by 3-1 with a spectacular third strike from Ian Davis, who actually starts today once more. So will Ian Davis have the same luck here today against Constant Spring, or will Constant Spring turn their luck around against the blue and black outfit? Off and running we go here at the Constant Spring football field. The Constant Spring, they're facing off against Meadforest. Ball sent forward. And now Meadforest can try to send it forward for Ian Davis. But they do regain possession now. Cold Spring sends that one across. And now finding a pass up forward for Ian Davis. Ian Davis tried to latch on and unable to. Constant Spring now with possession. Ball sent across. Now Javier Wilmot, he couldn't get that one properly. Now Ian Davis, he loses it to Tafari Rubble. Rubble on the ball now for Constant Spring, turning by Ian Davis quickly and swiftly. And that one goes into touch for a throw to Meadforest. And comical attempt, but the referee didn't see it. And now the throw taken. Ian Davis sends that one back. And Meadforest can attack, but that attack was thwarted very quickly. But they do have possession now. Interception there by Constant Spring, but they do have the ball already. Rodari Edwards on the ball, sends that one across. And now it's with Salmon. His ball intercepted by Brevitt. And now Moore on the ball now. Sends that one forward. And he is fouled. And that foul committed on Tariq Wilmot. So it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Ball sent forward. Headed on by Brevitt. Now it's with Wilmot. Wilmot sends that one over to Rubble. To fire Rubble now on the ball. Sends that one forward. And the Constant Spring can attack. Ball sent even further forward for Kimani Bennett. Bennett still on the ball now. He's being tackled. And the referee says it's a goal kick. And there was an appeal. Taken quickly now. Ball sent forward. And Meadforest will try to latch on. They do still. And just taken off the ball with ease. Ball sent forward. And again, Constant Spring just cannot keep that one on the wraps. And Meadforest just challenging for possession to fire Rubble now for Constant Spring. He is being challenged. And he is fouled. So it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, but straight behind for a goal kick to Meadforest. So, early days here. And both teams will be looking to strike early, as what happened yesterday between Rockford and Brownstown. And that match ended 2-1 in favor of Rockford. And I tell you, that was an exciting match. Actually, both matches were exciting. And the Santos were handed their first win of the season. Well, I don't really say handed, because they deserved those 3 points yesterday. Played pretty decent against Central Kingston, and they got the win. A late-minute strike. And that was that. That was all she wrote. And so they got their first 3 points of the season. And then Brownstown handed Rockford second win of the season. And they lost 2-1 to Rockford. An early strike, which was then cancelled by a penalty converted. And then, right at the death, a 90-minute strike was one that put the game to rest for Rockfort. So those were the results yesterday. So the table stays the way it is in terms of first and second. Rockfort will be looking to make the playoffs. Through to Meadforest. Headed on. Not dealt with properly. Goes into touch now. And it will be a throw to Meadforest. Boston forward now. And Ian Davis tried to latch on, but straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. And Wilmot still looking for a pass. Jean-Luc Wilmot, not the best goal kicks in the end. Rodari Edwards now tried to latch on. Now it's with Wilmot. Wilmot over now to Martin. Martin sent that ball forward, intercepted by Rodari Edwards. Edwards sends that one back. Sliding challenge. And the referee says it's a free kick for Meadforest. And it will be taken by Tavoy Coldspring, the man that normally takes the free kick for Meadforest. No biggie. And he sends that one forward. Headed on. And the challenge in the air now. Steve Green leaves that one. And intercepted now. And Ricardo Marsh ends up fouling a Meadforest player, so it will be, or it goes into touch for a throw, intercepted. And that ball goes into touch, and it will be another throw to the blue and black outfit. The referee says that that's not the place where the ball went into touch, so he called back the throw. Some referees would have been harsher and actually give the other team the throw, as we see Brevitt now on the ball, sends that one across. Martin sends that one back. And Dennis sends that one over. And searching forward now. Constant Spring regain possession once more. Rubble on the ball, twisting and turning. And finding another player. And pushing forward, intercepted now. Javier Wilmot on the ball for Constant Spring. He's being challenged. And he's still on his feet. So not the easiest of players by that run to be taken off his feet. Ball sent across by Orlando Brown. Trying to latch onto that one is Rodari Edwards. Has an opportunity. And Rodari Edwards will try to find Ian Davis, but unable to. And defensive work there by Constant Spring. Someone sends that one over, and that ball swung inside the 18-yard box, but that attempt thwarted, and it goes behind, and it will be a goal kick for Constant Spring. And as I mentioned before, this is not the first time that we've actually filmed these two teams squaring off. The last time that they faced each other, the first time they actually faced each other, we streamed that match, and Meadforest came out 3-1 winners. As we see a ball sent forward there for Steve Green. Steve Green will try to latch on. He's being challenged. And the referee says it's actually a goal kick. So they get to reset. Constant Spring. Martin now on the ball. Sean Martin trying to find a pass. Intercepted, however. His ball intercepted as well. And Wilmot sends that one back. And Brevitt sends that one across for Martin. Martin on the ball now. He was being challenged by Radari Edwards. And Sheldon Green ends up fouling Brevitt. So it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. And here at the Constant Spring football field, Constant Spring now are actually fighting to stay up here in the KSAFA Super League. Ball headed on. And Radari Edwards didn't deal with that one properly. And defensive work had to be called into question for Meadforest, and that ball goes behind. And it will be a throw for Constant Spring. Martin takes that throw. And he trying to fight Tariq Wilmot. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box. Too much on it. No one able to latch on. And Meadforest will let that run behind. As we see Orlando Brown now taking that throw to Sheldon Green. Sheldon Green sends that ball forward. And he was unable to find his teammate Dylan Edwards. And that goes into touch for a throw to Constant Spring. Constant Spring, and a shot there by Brevitt, blocked. And Constant Spring still have possession once more. Javier Wilmot sends that one across for Rashawn Martin. Martin, he's being challenged by Radari Edwards. And that ball goes into touch for another throw to Constant Spring. Brevitt just settles things. Challenged, and Ian Davis wins that challenge. And now it's with Radari Edwards. Radari Edwards tried to send that ball forward and find Amari Edwards. And that was a foul. And that will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Martin. And his ball intercepted. Ball swung across. And there's just a jostle for possession now. Cold Spring. And the referee says it's actually a foul on a Constant Spring player. So it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. So Constant Spring now, they are 2 points ahead of Maxfield, as they have, out of 7 games, 1 win, 1 draw, and 5 losses. And the Meadforest just try to keep a pace and go into the playoffs. And they're currently actually 7 points ahead of the next person that would be able to qualify for the playoffs. And they're facing them now. So they're 7 points ahead. So I would think with this match, if they can draw this match, then they would actually qualify for the playoffs, because they will be 7 points ahead of Constant Spring. And with a draw, they would still be 7 points ahead. So that would mean that Meadforest would qualify for the playoffs and the quarterfinals. So, chance for qualification, and never write out Constant Spring. If they win today and win their other 2 matches, and somehow Meadforest loses their last 2, then Meadforest actually ends up in 5th place, and Constant Spring qualifies for the playoffs. Remember when we spoke to the man in charge of Constant Spring, he said that they're in a rebuilding process because so many players have left the squad for new teams or decided not to play anymore. and the fact that they're in the rebuilding process and qualifies for the playoffs, that's actually a very tremendous feat. The ball sent forward now for Steve Green. Steve Green will try to latch on. And defensive work there done by Rashawn Martin. And again, not entirely dealt with. Rodario Edwards now on the ball for Meadforest. Sends that ball across for Ian Davis. And his pass intercepted, but Rodario Edwards regained possession for Meadforest now. They lose it. Javier Wilmot, who scored a stunner the last time we streamed a Constant Spring match. That ball intercepted. And he slipped, but the referee says it's actually a foul on Dylan Edwards, so it will be a free kick for Meadforest.
I know.
Opportunity now. Cold Spring with the free kick. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on, and still not dealt with properly. And that was a real opportunity for Meadforest to actually go ahead. That was a sneaking ball behind. And there's an appeal that it's not actually a corner, but a goal kick, and the referee's decision is final. So it will be a corner and another opportunity for Meadforest. You see about 6 players inside the box in blue and black. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on and just wide of the target. And another corner for Meadforest. They keep coming and coming. And the pressure is on for Constant Spring's defense. And will they still be 0-0 after this corner? So another opportunity. Ball swung at the back post, headed on. Still danger not dealt with yet. And it's a goal kick now for Meadforest, for Constant Spring, sorry. So 2 opportunities, actually 3 opportunities back to back to back. A free kick that led to a corner, and then another corner as we see a Constant Spring player down on the field. And they're just tending to him. So we know that mathematically Barbican already has qualified for the playoffs. They're in pole position, first place now, and 17 points to the good. But they are not off first place. Real Mona has the opportunity to pass them. There are 3 matches left for Real Mona and Barbican, and Real Mona are just 4 points behind them. So they have the opportunity to pass Barbican and claim top spot in Zone A. And what telling 3 matches this will be for the preliminary season for KSAFA Super League. And then they will start that journey to try to claim top spot tonight when they face Malines United. Malines United actually in 3rd place. And it's actually a very interesting battle at 8:30 because Malines just 2 points behind Real Mona. So if Malines can grab 3 points, then Malines goes into 2nd place. So, very tricky days here. Ball swung across, And Sheldon Green could latch on. Everton Ricketts sends that ball forward. And that ball sent further forward. Finding Tariq Wilmot. His ball dealt with. Intercepted. Moore sends that one back for Brevitt. Brevitt sends that ball forward. Trying to find Ricardo Marsh. But it's been dealt with by Tavoy Coldspring. And Ricardo Marsh still tried to latch on. But defensive work by Meadforest. Headed on by Javier Wilmot. Still not dealt with properly. Now it is. Headed into enemy territory. Ball sent forward now. And Sheldon Green tried to latch on once more. Everton Ricketts, though, has the ball for Constant Spring. Sends a ball across for Ronaldo Moore. Moore on the ball now. Sends that one across for Brevitt. Brevitt rolls that back for Wilmot, who sends that ball forward, finding no one but the head of Orlando Brown, who heads it back to the goalkeeper, Gordon. Gordon sends that ball forward and headed on, and that was a foul by Jason Dennis on Amari Edwards. Free kick for Meadforest. And standing behind this one is Brown, but of course the boy Coldspring takes that one, send inside, not dealt with properly. And defensive work there by Constant Spring. They avert danger momentarily. Marsh, his ball intercepted. Now it's with Sheldon Green. Sheldon Green sends that, trying to find Orlando Brown, but too much on it, and he goes behind for a goal kick to Constant Spring. So just time the shoelaces of the goalkeeper, and he's now fine. As we will see over time that the fans will gather. This is Zone A action, and then we're going to go over or stick into Zone A and feature second place Real Mona and third place Malines United. But now searching for it is Ronaldo Moore. He's being challenged by Ian Davis. Still Ronaldo Moore twisting and turning and recovering, and the referee says it's a foul on Kimani Bennett, so it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. And Rodari Edwards just stepping back, and Wilmot will take this one. Ball sent short, and that cross blocked by Edwards. Ball sent further forward. Now it's with Amari Edwards. That ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw to Meadforest. Take it quickly. Now it's with Odari Edwards. Odari Edwards sends that one across, tried to find Sheldon Green, but headed down by Rubble. Rubble sends that one into touch, and it will be a throw to Meadforest. Just over 22.5 minutes gone in this encounter. And it's still a stalemate. Meadforest looks like the more comfortable team here in this contest so far. Rodari Edwards sends that one across and unable to find Edwards. And now back for Meadforest. Ball sent inside but intercepted by Kimani Bennett, and one goes into touch for a throw to Meadforest. Headed out by Martin. It will be another throw. And someone looking for a teammate. And unable to find Sheldon Green. Defensive work by Ronaldo Moore. Goes into touch for another throw. So they're just gradually going forward. And intercepted by Moore. Martin sends that one up. Ian Davis tried to send that one into touch. The referee says it's actually a throw to Constant Spring. Take it quickly. Wilmot sends that one across. And sent inside. Headed on. Rodari Edwards tried to latch on to that one. Defensive work by Martin. Constant Spring have possession. Tariq Wilmot sends that one across. And Moore sends it back for Martin, who sends it across. Headed on by Cold Spring. Headed across. And that ball was intercepted initially. So just to inform you that this style of a knockout will not be settled on aggregate, so there won't be 2 legs in the knockout round. There will be just one, and if you lose, you are gone. So that's the knockout rules for the KSAFA Super League. It's 1 leg, and if you lose, that's it. So it will be a free kick for Meadforest. And it will be to avoid Cold Spring. And the Cold Spring just taking his time. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on, still not dealt with properly. And the defense has to be called into question for Constant Spring. Ball sent forward, and Tariq Wilmot tried to latch on to that one. Meadforest still have possession. They will swing that one inside the 18-yard box and just outside, headed on. And Meadforest still have possession. And the Dylan Edwards ball was dealt with. And it is a foul. And it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Player still down on the field. And the player still hasn't gotten up yet. And the referee just checking on him. And just trying to see if he has to summon the medical team. And he does. And so Andrew Henry is now tending to the Constant Spring player. And I'm not sure 100% what's going on, what has happened to him, but he's still down, and it still looks serious because he hasn't moved any at all. He hasn't attempted to get up. He hasn't attempted to roll over, so he's now being helped up. Almost 28 minutes gone in this contest. So just over 17 minutes left in the first half. And for all those who actually watch the NBA, and they do say karma is a dish best served cold, Brandon. And the man, D'Angelo Russell, who they say has ice in his veins, actually eliminated the Lakers from playoff contention last night and put his team, the Brooklyn Nets, in the driver's seat. They're currently 7th in the Eastern Conference. And my oh my, what a serving of karma indeed, as we see Constant Spring here. So we not only bring football here to you, we also bring other sports as well. As you saw the stream for hockey, And we also give you news as well for other sports around the world. The NCAA actually went on today. I watched it and it was pretty exciting. LSU faced off against Maryland and they won 69-67. And it was actually a last-minute drive from LSU that actually won the game, as we see a foul there on Brevitt. And the medical team again summoned. And Kentucky moves into the Sweet 8. Or is it the Sweet 16? Sweet 16. Brandon is correcting me. And they won today. So that has been the news in basketball. And also we're facing El Salvador today. So you don't want to miss that one. And by I say we, I mean the Jamaica national team. And we see a lot of players in there that really has made the team. Orgill comes back. And we see the inclusion of Jamoy Tope as well. You know, the re-inclusion of Darren Mattox, Jadine White, Andre Blake. And also, shout out to ISN subscriber Andre Blake. He is the number one, actually, the number one choice, the first choice in terms of goalkeeping for Jamaica. He doesn't have a bad number two, Janoy. Jadine White is actually a pretty excellent goalkeeper. Played for Cavalier, now plays for Humble Lion. Plays for St. Andrew Technical in the Manning Cup. Captained the Cavalier side at one point. And captains the St. Andrew Technical High School team as well. So, not a bad number two. We saw the inclusion of Kamara Lawrence, who plays for the New York Red Bull. We saw Ladale Ritchie, who plays for Mount Pleasant as well. And as we see Brevitt just take it off of the field momentarily, just to give you a bit of news, just to get the juice flowing. And the Jamaican women are also having their next international friendly. They'll be playing Scotland in Glasgow. They'll be playing the Scottish women in Glasgow. So I've been told that Panama is actually coming here first and then they go to Glasgow, Scotland to play the Scottish women. So just to prepare themselves for France 2019. As ball played now. And that one goes into touch for a throw to Constant Spring, taken quickly. Ball sent forward. Only meets the head of Ian Davis, the captain. And defensive work there by Javier Wilmot. Challenged. And Rodari Edwards would try to latch on. And that was the last touch by Salmon. So it will be a throw for Constant Spring. And just waited to take that throw. And intercepted now by Devon Salmon. Rodari Edwards now on the ball for Meadforest, who sends it across for Orlando Brown. Brown sends that ball forward. And a 1-2 touch there. And Ian Davis ends up fouling a Constant Spring player. So it will be a free kick to Constant Spring as Brevitt comes back onto the field now. Constant Spring on the ball now. Wilmot sends that ball across for Martin. And Rodari Edwards intercepts and he puts that one into touch. And it will be a throw for Constant Spring. Tariq Wilmot on the ball now. He's shielding two players. Sends that one across. Intercepted now. And that ball sent across for Amari Edwards. Edwards on the ball now. Sends that ball back for Rodari Edwards. And defensive work there by Martin. So that one goes into touch and it will be a throw for Meadforest. And the referee just telling the the player Devon Salmon that it's at the halfway line that the ball went into touch. So just dressing back at the moment. Ian Davis sends that one back for Salmon, and the referee couldn't play the advantage. So it will be a free kick for Meadforest. So just gingerly walking Tafoe Cold Spring to the ball. And the first assistant just letting Tavoy Cold Spring know where he can set the ball for the free kick. Tavoy Cold Spring sends that one just outside the 18-yard box, and it's still danger, but Amari Edwards couldn't latch onto that one, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Also, congratulations to a Jamaican-born player scoring his hat trick yesterday as England won 4-0 to the Czech Republic. It's actually 5, I've been told. And also the captain, Harry Kane, converted a penalty as well. But the star of the moment was actually Raheem Sterling, who scored a hat trick, and he's been on fire, Brandon, this season. Already surpassed his mark from last season in terms of goals in all competitions. Ball now with Constant Spring. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed out. And Meadforest can push forward, but their ball intercepted. Wilmot Brevitt now on the ball. He's being challenged by Ian Davis, and now Meadforest have possession. Ball sent to Radari Edwards. Radari Edwards on the ball. Opportunity now for Meadforest, but passed behind for Sheldon Green, and he will latch on now. Sheldon Green on the ball for Meadforest. Ball sent back for Orlando Brown. Brown gets by the Constant Spring defender. Swung inside the 18-yard box, headed out. And now Meadforest still has the opportunity, and he is fouled. So it will be a free kick for Meadforest. And a perfect position to swing inside the 18-yard box. And I see about 6 Meadforest players. And it's now reduced to 5 as Radari Edwards just drifts outside the 18-yard box. But Tavoy Goldspring looks like he will go inside the 18-yard box to make the 6th Meadforest player. And we see also the man from Constant Spring, Tariq Wilmot, comes back to defend for Constant Spring. Free kick now, opportunity for Meadforest. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, and it tries to meet the head, and an opportunity, but the referee says it's a foul, and it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Just over 37 minutes gone in this contest. Just under 8 minutes left in the first half, and it's still a stalemate here. As it stands, Constant Spring will not be able to qualify for the playoffs. 50-50 challenge. And now it's with Tariq Wilmot, sends that ball forward. It's actually received by Tariq Wilmot from Ronaldo Moore. That ball goes into touch for a throw. Last touch by Sims. As well, and some controversy heading to Champs. Big controversy. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, but couldn't latch on to that one. And the Constant Spring still have an opportunity. Ball swung again inside the 18-yard box, headed on. Not dealt with properly. Now it is gobbled up by the goalkeeper, Gordon. Scary days there for Meadforest. Devon Salmon sends the ball across. And the ball sent forward for Amari Edwards. And Amari Edwards can latch on to that one. He's being challenged by Everton Ricketts, and Ricketts just put that one into touch, and it will be a throw to Meadforest. Ball intercepted now. And it goes into touch, and it will be a throw for Constant Spring. So, first half almost finished. And still a stalemate here at the Constant Spring football field. And the throw, intercepted by Devon Salmon. Jamari Dallas sends that one forward, intercepted. Tariq Wilmot trying to find it's actually Javier Wilmot trying to fight Tariq Wilmot, but they do have possession once more. Brevitt. Miscommunication between him and Javier Wilmot. And Wilmot gets back the ball for Constant Spring. Martin leaves that one for Wilmot, who pushes it past Meadforest player, but they do get it back. Meadforest through Rodari Edwards. Rodari Edwards looking for a pass. Ricardo Marsh just challenging the Meadforest player. And that ball sent across, trying to find Sheldon Green, but it clips the head of Sheldon Green and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, John-Luc Wilmot, who sends that ball forward. And finding Ricardo Marsh. Marsh sends that ball across, trying to find Tariq Wilmot, intercepted. Ian Davis back for Devon Salmon. Sends that ball across for Cold Spring. And the Cold Spring for Orlando Brown. Brown sends that ball forward, finding no one, trying to find Amari Edwards, but unable to. Tariq Wilmot tried to latch on to that one. He is being challenged. And he does fall Devon Salmon. And it will be a free kick for Meadforest. And the referee just talking to Tariq Wilmot. Rodari Edwards now on the ball. Ian Davis, the captain. The skipper sends it across for Dallas, who sends that one across for Tavoy Cold Spring. Dallas across to try and find Orlando Brown, but that one goes into touch too much on it, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Looking for a pass now. Fire Rubble. Sends that one up for Marsh. Marsh sends it back to Wilmot. No further. And that one put into touch by Cold Spring, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring once more. And each team will be looking to actually get on the score sheet before the first half is over, and a shot wide of the target. And it will be a goal kick, or was it a corner deflection from a Meadforest player? So it goes behind, and it will be a corner. An opportunity presented now for Constant Spring. Like I said, if Constant Spring gain 3 points from this match, they still have an opportunity to qualify for the playoffs. They are 7 points behind Meadforest, and if they win today, they'll be 4 points behind Meadforest, and they have an opportunity. And the corner taken shortly. Rubble, and Constant Spring still has possession. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, being latched onto, but wide of the target, and it will be a goal kick for Meadforest. So if it stays like this, or Meadforest wins, then for sure Constant Spring out of playoff contention. And actually, here's a bit of facts for you, Brandon. Since the ABA and the NBA has been merged in the 60s, 67, 68, and if memory serves me correctly, this is the first time that the playoffs will not feature Shaquille O'Neal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, or LeBron James, for the first time since the 60s or the 70s, when the ABA and the NBA merged. So that's a long period. That's over 50 years that they have at least those players in the playoffs. Remember, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar switched from the Milwaukee Bucks to the LA Lakers, where he won a championship with them, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't forget, he had the Big O, who averaged a triple-double, and that actually won the NBA title, and he won MVP, I think, that year as well. So I know my bit of history. That ball swung inside, meant nothing in the end. And also a bit of a shock for you, Brandon. Venezuela actually defeated Argentina by 3-1. So Messi was actually the captain of that team. And Panama actually drew 1-1 with Brazil today as well. And a lot of people said that based on the team that Brazil had, they should have put Panama away. They had the likes of Roberto Firmino. They had Felipe Coutinho. They had Richarlison. They had a lot of players, Miranda as well, Casimiro, Edison Morales. And also Spain got a win. And the man, one of the main men for Bournemouth, Joshua King, he actually scored for Norway. The equalizer, actually. So I tell you, a lot of people sleep on Callum Wilson and Joshua King. They are very excellent players for Bournemouth. They have been so critical for them. And I can tell you that he gave me some success last season for the Fantasy League, for the Premier League. As we see Rodari Edwards now on the ball for Meadforest, and his ball intercepted. Javier Wilmot sends that ball forward, finding nobody but Tavoy, co-spring of Meadforest. And that ball sent now for Jamari Dallas. Dallas sends that ball across, finding Orlando Brown. And he just chests that one into touch, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. And there will be a yellow card, as we see the card in his hand. And we'll see who will be getting the yellow card. I'm not sure 100% who it is. And I'm just confirming right now that it's actually the number 4, Orlando Brown, for Meadforest. And Ramon Brevet, sliding challenge. And a clattering challenge now by Brevet. Ball sent forward, trying to find Rodari Edwards. He has an opportunity to now put them 1-0 up, and he does! The first goal of the contest just before halftime. And injury time, and Meadforest are in the lead. And that was a very good ball. I tell you that it's not easy to get Rodari Edwards off his ball. Very, very difficult. And with 2 defenders on him, it didn't matter. His speed and his strength and his movement and balance on the ball was the difference maker. And he just slots that one home past the goalkeeper, John-Luc Wilmot. And it is 1-0 in favor of Meadforest. And remember, I told you the last time they played each other, Meadforest actually came out 3-1 winners. And the goal scorer for Constant Spring in that match is actually on the bench. Rowan Shea. So 1-0. Injury time strike, or stoppage time strike by Rodari Edwards, 47th minute, or 45 plus 2, as they would normally put it, because it's the end of the first half and now an opportunity for Constant Spring maybe to draw level before the end of the first half. Maybe the last attack here of the first half, and a shot there, headed out by Cold Spring. Defensive work, and that doesn't matter. It's the end of the first half. 45 minutes plus 2 was the time slotted, and Rodari Edwards puts the ball past the goalkeeper. So at the end of 45 minutes, at the end of the first half, Constant Spring, they trail by a 1-0.
And we are ready.
The role is to continue to drive for the development of the game here. Although players are selected from clubs abroad, they were developed in the league.
They're really quality players and they have really good attitude, and you get your money's worth.
This match has turned up several gears. An opportunity to lead here.
Oh, that's a handball. Wow. And the interpretation, Lance, seems to be that the hand prevented the ball from going into the direction of a Waterhouse player. If that is the call, and if that's the reasoning, then it is a penalty.
Well, in rainy conditions, Dumbo Holden giving up a penalty.
Howell.
Kenroy Howell, prolific scorer for Waterhouse, has the job to strike his team's first goal of the season, and it's in.
That's Gervin Brown, the former UWI man.
It's Gervin Brown with a strike. It's Howell. Left footed into the corner. Yes, Gervin Brown with a strike, former UWI man. And Benpo on the counter-attack from Mount Pleasant. Benpo tumbles over from the challenge from Simpson. Ball slid through there, the goalkeeper. Benpo over the top.
But look when it comes to him, ball played over the top. Offside, Ricardo Dennis was, but the flag didn't go up. Then it comes to Benbo, first touch, it rides up on him, and Purcell on him in a flash. He had to get rid of the ball quickly. And that's why the shot was harmless in the end. There's Purcell in his line of sight, closing him down.
Benbo, good pace. Still Benbo. Dennis with the effort from just outside the box.
To let that run, there's Campbell going to it, calling for it from Benbo. Gets the call from Ricardo Dennis.
And Marsh battled for the ball. Oh, Benbo does really well here. Wins up corner, ball back and gets it. Touch onto the ball, but doesn't prevent Benbo from taking it. Benbo, multiple step overs from Benbo. Shot blocked from Isaacs. Benbo with a rebound.
Oh, this is Benbo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Then look at this shot. That was struck with tremendous power on Brian Sharp.
Isaacs. Oh, beautiful turn by Benbo. Daniel Green over the top with the left-footed strike.
Turn from Benbo in midfield. Look at this. Leaves this man for dead. Orlando Brown slips Daniel Green in.
Manning. Benbo. Good pass forward, looking for Hodges. Parchment has seen the end of it.
For the turn and the shot. What a strike! Out of nowhere! Rondy Smith! We have seen some spectacular goals here at the compound, but take a bow.
Well, time stood still. So did the Harborview goalkeeper. This is the throw from Osani Ricketts. One bounce, chest control, and bang! Opportunism at its best. Rondy Smith. Cloovey only goes to fetch because he couldn't save. So here's the goal. That's the goal scorer, Rondy Smith. It's a simple throw. One bounce onto his chest. He turns. Harvey gives him acres of space. And look at that. You couldn't make it up.
Morris. Now the shot. Take on! Rondy Smith again! Well, he can do no wrong with the spectacular tonight here at the compound. The champions racing away. They lead by 2 goals to 0.
Isn't this beautiful? One with the left foot earlier, this one with the right. Takes a touch to set himself, and look at that. Curls it up and over. Morris wanted the call for a foul. Referee let the play run, and what a good thing he did. The ball running for Randy Smith, just took a touch to get it out of his feet so he could get the back lift. And really bent it through Clovis. Not a chance in goal.
Randy Smith had 2 brilliant goals in the first half. And it's the difference between these two teams. One with the left, the other with the right. And Christian Clovis, who has had a shaky game so far, really could have done nothing about the goals.
So you thought that gave him confidence, but from the evidence of that, that was poor by any standard. Then for the Randy Smith strike, I'm not going to be too hard on him. He expected his defenders to do their job. They didn't. And even if he was aware of that, he couldn't have kept it out. Was aware that Randy Smith was lining up that effort and could do nothing about it. And then...
And of course, he's the scorer of the 2 goals tonight. First with the left. It was a brilliant one. And then the other with the right. Here it is. Fabulous effort by Portmore's number 20. Not bad to open his campaign this season.
And Jabari Howell is in his place tonight.
Just some freshen up in the midfield area, and that's where Aberville certainly won the battle tonight.
Lewis. Substitute Howell now gets in. Beckford gets there, but can't keep it in. Samuel to Nairn, to Howell.
It's a lot of attributes for the attacking plays.
Sean Fraser, his shot blocked. McGee trying to stab it forward to Peter Lee Battle. McGee with the effort, the keeper collects. Darius Stewart. Stewart does well. Tyreek McGee, Peter Lee Vassell.
Just a little undercooked from McGee. Vassell wanted it a little bit more firm.
You wouldn't have expected him to take the shot with his right foot. He was looking for the pass, and it just didn't work out for him there in the end.
Well,
he doesn't get it.
Oh.
Vassell does really well to win it back.
That good turn of pace because Roshane Sharp was trying to run by him. Good speed, good strength from Vassell. The good players always look to have time on the ball, i.e. Tyreek McGee.
Here's another one. Peter Lee Vassell.
Oh, yes.
Whether he picks it up. Harvey was in the way. The keeper will collect, or we try to. Doesn't really hold on to it. Sharp forced away from goal. Vassell puts it into touch.
He made a meal of it.
Players down for Portland United, but Aberville will continue. McGee lays down to Vassell. Vassell with a ball to... And we are ready.
The rule is to continue to drive for the development of the game here. Although players are selected from clubs abroad, they were developed in the league.
They're really quality players and they have really good attitude, and you get your money's worth.
This match has turned up several gears.
So we're back here at the Constant Spring football field. And it is KSAFA Super League action between Constant Spring and Meadforest. And there has been a change. And Rowan Parker comes on for Ricardo Marsh. It's a throw for Meadforest. Throw now for Constant Spring. Rowan Parker sends that one across. Trying to find Ronaldo Moore. Moore still on the ball. Sends that one further across. And they're trying to find Martin, and he does latch on to that one. Dennis sends that ball forward, trying to find Tariq Wilmot. Wilmot will try to chase. And it's still Wilmot. And he is fouled. And he's still down on the field. So free kick for Constant Spring. They'll be looking to also grab 3 points and still be in the hunt for playoff berth. Headed on. And defensive work now done by, or momentarily done by Meadforest. Now done wholeheartedly by Meadforest. That one goes into touch and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Will be taken quickly by Tafari Rebel. Tafari sends that one for Rowan Parker. Headed on by Cold Spring. Now headed by Orland Brown. Sorry. And Orland Brown does for the player. And that free kick taken right into the hands of the goalkeeper, Gordon. Throw now. And there is a foul committed, so it will be a free kick for Meadforest. And that foul was on Devon Salmon. Free kick to be taken. It is taken, headed on. And Constant Spring, their ball intercepted. And Amari Edwards is fouled, so it will be another free kick for Meadforest, this time in enemy territory. And just so you know, just on the cusp of half-time, Rodari Edwards slotted home an opportunity. And so that's the difference maker now. And the goalkeeper, John-Luke Wilmot, is down. And the medical staff is summoned once more. And France were also winners in their Euro 2020 qualifier. They won by 2-0. And I believe the highlight of the day was actually a picture-perfect pass by the one Paul Labo Pogba. And straight into the path of Antoine Griezmann, and they slap that one home with authority. And not the greatest of defensive works there by Orland Brown, so that one goes into touch and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Tafari Rebel will be the one to take and try to send that one for Parker, headed on by Orland Campbell. Now it's back with the man to avoid Cold Spring. Cold Spring is challenged by Parker, but Parker jumps over the ball sent and hopefully ricocheted by Parker. So there will be another change. Carlton Salmon, He is coming on. And it seems to be Kimani Bennett that is coming off. So it is Kimani Bennett coming off, and Carlton Salmon comes on for Constant Spring. Opportunity now. Parker on the ball for Constant Spring, loses it. But it is regained by Javier Wilmot. And that was a clattering challenge from Orland Brown, so it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. And he's just asking the referee as to why there was a foul there, but based on what I saw, there was no appeal that was needed, because that was a clear foul. You can't put your foot up and then clatter with somebody who loses the ball. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on. And defensive work there by Meadforest. And it goes into touch for a throw to Constant Spring. Take it quickly. Tariq Wilmot sends it across. And to receive the ball again, he doesn't. And miscontrol there by Sheldon Green. And Constant Spring have the ball once more. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, but it doesn't have enough curve on it in the end, and it will be a goal kick for Meadforest. So, if it stays like this, Meadforest will go on 14 points, and they will momentarily go ahead of Real Mona, and will be 3 points behind Barbican in Zone A. Constant Spring will be mathematically eliminated from playoff contention, because that would mean they would have 2 matches left. And the other team, Malines United, would be 7 points ahead of them, and they can't surpass them mathematically. As we see Ian Davis there passing the ball to his teammate, a handled ball there by Tafari, or it was actually Dylan Edwards, and the free kick taken quickly. Rodari Edwards tried to latch on. And Meadforest now has possession. Sheldon Green on the ball now, sending that ball forward, trying to find Amari Edwards, and that's not a bad ball in the end. And Sheldon Green running behind him, and he lets that one run, and it will be a corner. Last touch from Rashawn Martin. So an opportunity for Meadforest to double their advantage. And if you can remember, there was an equalizer from Constant Spring before Meadforest settled things and scored 2 goals for it to be 3-1 in favor of the black and blue team. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on. And Everton Ricketts will let that one, he doesn't. And instead sends that one for Ronaldo Moore. Moore on the ball now, trying to send that ball for Carlton Salmon. Carlton Salmon latches onto it, looking for a pass. And trying to find now Rowan Parker. He does. That's not a bad ball in the end for Rowan Parker, the number 10. He tried to take a shot, and that's not far from the target. That's actually a goal. That's actually a corner for Constant Spring. That wasn't far from the target at all. And Constant Spring now with an opportunity to actually equalize. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, and someone couldn't latch on. Wilmot tries a shot from distance and hit it on. Not dealt with properly. Now it is by Gordon. Thrown, intercepted. And now they have possession once more. And they now have an opportunity. What will they do? And Rodari Edwards couldn't latch on properly. And almost an own goal there in the end. So the referee says there was a deflection by a Meadforest player. And you would think, based on that defensive or somewhat defensive clearance, he thought he was actually looking at his opponent's goal and striking it from distance. But in the end, goal kick. Everton Ricketts sends that one across. And now it's Tavari Rubble. Javier Wilmot over to Brevitt. He was challenged by Dylan Edwards. Javier Wilmot sends that one across. Finding Martin. Martin now trying to look for a pass. Couldn't find anybody. And no, there was some defensive mix-up there. Opportunity. And that was a challenge and a half, but he caught the ball first. And defensive mix-up there by Meadforest. And that caused Constant Spring to gain an opportunity and almost converted the opportunity, Rowan Parker, but that was some defensive work there. And he hurt himself in the end. So there's a medical team summoned for him, and he's being tended to. Also, just to give you some more results, Sweden actually defeated Romania by 2-1. And Bosnia-Herzegovina, they defeated Armenia by 2-1. And hopefully Janoy can confirm when we did Henry Mkhitaryan play for Armenia today. And he said he doesn't think so, so you'll have to check. But I know that man who has won Armenian Player of the Year for 7 years straight, he's actually a man that knows no bounds. Very effective player when he's on form. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, punched out by the keeper. Ricketts now on the ball. A wayward shot. And that ball goes behind, and it will be a goal kick for Meadforest. Not the best shot in the end. And there will be a substitution for Meadforest. And it will be Dale Reed that comes on. And Tavoy Cold Spring is coming off. And Dale Reed comes on. Goal kick now for Meadforest taken. Headed on. And Rashawn Martin will try to latch on. Not the best clearance there by Rashawn Martin. And he does foul Amari Edwards. And it will be a free kick for Meadforest. And the yellow card issued. Rodari Edwards swings that one inside the 18-yard box, headed on. And defensive work there by Everton Ricketts. Meadforest will try to regain possession. If they don't. And now Constant Spring can search forward, but shielded by the man Devon Salmon. Salmon using his speed and trying to get by the Constant Spring player. That ball goes into touch and it will be a throw. Meadforest, ball sent forward now. And Dylan Edwards, he was impeded, but the referee says it's no foul. And now Javier Wilmot on the ball for Constant Spring. Tackled by Dylan Edwards. And that ball sent forward, but intercepted. And Meadforest now with the ball once more. Dylan Edwards, challenged by Javier Wilmot again. And he's trying to use his speed to get by Tafari Rubble. He does. But Jason Dennis is actually right there. Will be a throw to Meadforest. Take it quickly. Davis sends that one inside the 18-yard box. Collected by Wilmot. A ball sent forward now. Headed on. Challenged. And Rodari Edwards, he tried a shot from distance. Wanted to score a brace, but was not to be. Brevitt. Rubble. Shielding Dylan Edwards off the ball. He's being held in now by two players. Decides to send it back for Brevitt. Brevitt now. Back for Jason Dennis, who sends that ball forward, finding Rowan Parker. Parker on the ball now, turning from his defender. And now Parker can use his speed to chase and sends that ball across to Carlton Salmon. Carlton Salmon sends it inside, but defensive work there by Tyree Sims. It goes behind and it will be a corner for Constant Spring. An opportunity now to equalize here, but they don't want the equalizer. If they want to stay in contention of the playoffs, they need a win here. And you can say that they're the home team because this is the Constant Spring football field. Even though all of the matches are played here. Ball swung inside, headed on, and it's still not dealt with properly. The referee says it's a goal kick now. So, Meadforest, danger averted for them. Rowan Parker now tried to latch on, but he was challenged by the man Orland Brown. So that ball goes into touch and it will be a throw. Throw from Meadforest. And that ball goes into touch once more and it will be a throw for Meadforest again. Dylan Edwards heads that one over to Farrell Rubber, but Javier Wilmot is right there and challenged now. Back by Dale Reed. Gordon sends that ball forward, trying to find Dylan Edwards and does. Dylan latches onto that one, but Javier Wilmot takes it away. And that ball headed into touch by Dale Reed, and it will be a throw for Constant Spring. So 64 minutes gone in this contest. Just under 26 minutes left. Rodari Edwards now has speed and has balance. Rodari Edwards looking for a pass and unable to find Devon Salmon. Sliding challenge there, but Constant Spring still has the ball. It's still Constant Spring. That ball intercepted by Edwards, so that goes behind and it will be a corner for Constant Spring. And another opportunity for Constant Spring to equalize. And as I said before, if Constant Spring wants to qualify for the playoffs, they will need this win, this 3 points. They are 7 points behind Meadforest, and they're now 9 points behind well, there will be 10 points behind Meadforest if they lose this match, and 7 points behind Malines United. So this would mean that momentarily, if the match finishes this way momentarily, Meadforest will be in second place behind Barbican, and they'll be just three points behind Barbican. And Barbican would have to be careful. Defensive work there. And Everton Ricketts couldn't latch on to that one. And that is going to be a free kick for Meadforest. A ball sent forward. And defensive work there by Jason Dennis, and that ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw. Throw, take it quickly now. Ian Davis. His ball intercepted. Brevitt sends that ball forward, trying to find Carlton Salmon. And Jamari Dallas. Dallas sends up one across for Devon Salmon. Salmon on the ball now. And now Meadforest can attack. Ball sent forward, trying to find Amari Edwards, but Jason Dennis with the defensive work. And sending that ball forward. Unable to find Carlton Salmon. Instead, he meets the boot of Dale Reed, who sends that ball forward. Headed by Jason Dennis. And it goes straight over to Rashawn Martin. Martin sends that ball forward. Defensive work there. Once more by Meadforest. That ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Turning is Rashawn Martin, but he does fall Rodari Edwards, and it will be a free kick for Meadforest. Meadforest still comfortable in their lead. They are leading by a goal to nil, and that goal was scored in injury time in the first half by Rodari Edwards. Latched on to that one perfectly and was challenged by two Constant Spring defenders, albeit Jason Dennis and Everton Ricketts, as a ball swung inside. Ian Davis latches on. Defensive work there by Martin. That ball goes behind, and it will be a corner for Meadforest. So, another opportunity for Meadforest to double their advantage. Corner. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed out. And it will go behind, or it will go into touch for a throw to Meadforest. Meadforest with possession now through Ian Davis. Ian Davis with a strike. And his own teammate Sheldon Green blocked that one. And now Constant Spring have possession. Wilmot sends that ball forward, trying to find Rowan Parker. Parker will latch on. He's being challenged by Dale Reed. And he will be carded, Dale Reed, because he wrapped his arm around Rowan Parker. And I believe if the play went on, the referee would have still given him the card once the play stopped. So it will be a yellow card for him and a free kick for Constant Spring. And it seems to be another substitution in the offing. Rashane Dallas. He's going to come on. Opportunity now for Constant Spring. And an opportunity still. And it's still an opportunity. Danger. And it's still nobody able to latch on. And that was just a mix-up in the box. And that was just a jostle for possession there. It was Meadforest, then it was Constant Spring, then it was Meadforest, then it was Constant Spring. And in the end, the goalkeeper, Gordon, ends up being injured or ends up writhing in pain as he's still on the floor and the medical staff was summoned. So, not a bad free kick in the end for Constant Spring. And the ball wasn't converted, but I mean, there was so much jostle for possession inside the 18-yard box, and that was always danger for Meadforest. An opportunity presented for Constant Spring. And so Rashane Dallas, he will come on. And we're just going to confirm, as the first official says it's actually Orland Brown. And Orland Brown is being signaled to come off. So Orland Brown will come off for Meadforest. And guys, do remember that exclusively on the website we'll have quarterfinal action between Mount Pleasant and UWI and Arnett and Cavaliers. That should be an exciting encounter. And we'll have a pre-game show at 4 on YouTube and Facebook. So we'll have the pre-game show live on YouTube and Facebook, and then turn it over to the website as a ball swung inside the 18-yard box for the quarterfinal action. And Ron Parker still on the ball. Ball swung inside. Defensive work there by Meadforest. Sheldon Green now with the ball. Sent forward trying to find Amari Edwards, but Martin latches on. Rashawn Martin, he's being challenged by Sheldon Green. Sends it across for Javier Wilmot. He's being challenged by Ian Davis, and he was fouled by Ian Davis. So it will be a free kick for Constant Spring. Just over 73 minutes gone in this contest. And the Meadforest, they still lead by a goal to nil. So just under 17 minutes to go. Wilmot on the ball for Constant Spring. He was looking for an open shot, but the defense of Meadforest prevented him. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, and that's into the back of the net. Constant Spring, they are level, and it's actually Ramon Brevitt that actually scored that one, because no Constant Spring player inside the box actually touched it. And I think because of that confusion, the goalkeeper didn't do anything. So the goalkeeper was shadowed by the players in the box of his own team and the opposing team. And Constant Spring are now level 1 apiece with Meadforest. There is life at the end. There's light at the end of the tunnel, it seems. And now it's anybody's game here at the Constant Spring football field. That ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Looking to take advantage. The momentum, it's down with them. Ball sent back for Brevitt. Brevitt to Tafari Rubble. Defensive effort there by Dylan Edwards, and it will be a throw. The referee says no, that's not where the throw was taken. The ball went into touch. Meadforest now on the ball. Dari Edwards surges forward, finding Omari Edwards. And just like that, his ball was snatched. They do have back possession, however. Ian Davis sends that one back for Devon Salmon, who sends it across for Dylan Edwards. Edwards on the ball, tries a shot from distance. And that ball goes wide of the target, so it will be a goal kick for Constant Spring. Almost 76 minutes gone in this contest. Almost 14 minutes to go, just over 14 minutes to go. And the ball sent up there, too much on it. And Constant Spring try to regain possession, and they don't. Still a jostle for possession. Intercepted now by Tafari Rubble. Rubble on the ball. He's being challenged by Dylan Edwards. Meadforest regain possession. Ball sent forward. Intercepted once more. And now it's with Rowan Parker. He's being challenged by Sheldon Jones, and he runs that ball into touch, and it will be a throw for Meadforest. Dallas sends that one back for Dale Reed, who sends that forward. Chested or shouldered by Javier Wilmot. And that was a clattering challenge there by Ian Davis. Got none of the ball, actually. And you heard the connection between his boot and Wilmot. And now it's with Tafari Rubble. Sent that one inside the 18-yard box, trying to find Carlton Salmon, but that was another clattering challenge there. And Dallas was on the floor for a moment, but he's up now. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed out. And Constant Spring have possession once more. Moore sends that one across for Martin. Martin sends that one inside, but nothing in the end. And it will be a goal kick for Meadforest. Meadforest with the goal kick. Constant Spring now try to latch on. Rodari Edwards. He's being fouled, and he was fouled, so it will be free kick for Meadforest. Just to give you some more international scores, Italy actually got the better of Finland by 2-0. And Greece actually won by 2-0 against Liechtenstein. And also the African Cup of Nations qualifiers was also in full swing as Senegal. They won by 2-0, and Cameroon won 3-0. So the teams that you expect to win actually did. And also Ghana won by 1-0. So those were the scores from around the world today. Constant Spring now. Ricketts sends that one up for Martin. Martin further upwards, trying to find Carlton Salmon, but in the end, straight into the hands of Gordon. Gordon decides to send that one long, finding Amari Edwards, who hits that one for Rodari Edwards, and Rodari Edwards will try to latch on again, trying to get by two Constant Spring players. And no foul, the referee says. And turning now, sends that one across for Brevitt. Brevitt was challenged. Javier Wilmot loses it cheaply. And Sheldon Green gives back possession to Constant Spring. Headed on, and Rowan Parker will try to latch on. And defensive work there by Meadforest. Through for Constant Spring. And that's actually a free kick for Constant Spring. Hand in the face by the number 24, Rashid Dallas. And Tafari Rubble is still down on the field for Constant Spring. And still down, so
Interesting.
Rubble was taken off momentarily. So an opportunity to go ahead for the first time in this contest, Constant Spring. Parker behind this one. Ball swung inside and not dealt with properly. And another opportunity. And couldn't cross the face of goal. The referee says it's an offside. That was an opportunity for Constant Spring to go ahead. And Man Sims leaves that for Gordon, who rolls that ball, who throws that ball for Rodari Edwards. Rodari Edwards will try to latch on. And it's a throw for Meadforest. Another throw. Dallas. And it's still Dallas. And that's a clattering challenge from Javier Wilmot, so it will be a free kick for Meadforest. 82.5 minutes gone in this contest. Less than 8 minutes to go. Opportunity now for Meadforest to go back into the lead. Now placing the ball once more, Dale Reed. Dale Reed will be taking this free kick. And that wasn't the best free kick. That was actually a very poor free kick in the end. And ball sent forward now. And that ball headed behind for a corner to Constant Spring. And the players just telling the man that was holding the ball to just relax. And it will be another card. Issued, so it's actually been confirmed to be Sheldon Green of Meadforest. And again, there's another jostle for possession as there's another yellow card being issued. And it's Tariq Wilmot of Constant Spring that was in the books as well. So he goes into the books for this contest. So the referee not sparing anyone here in this matchup. Just over 5 minutes left here in this first match of two KSAFA Super League doubleheader. At 8:30, it will be Real Mona. They're facing off against Malines FC, Malines United FC. Opportunity now, ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed out. throw for Constant Spring. Long ball inside the 18-yard box. And defensive work there by Meadforest. Martin sends it over to the skipper, Jason Dennis, who sends that ball forward. And unable to find his teammate, Meadforest now. And a ball sent forward for Rodari Edwards. He's being challenged by Jason Dennis. And that ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw for Constant Spring. Referee says no foul. And Meadforest now regains possession for a moment. They regain it once more. Dylan Edwards now on the ball. Turns by Tafari Rubble. He's being challenged now by Carlton Salmon. He comes back to help. And Carlton Salmon now on the ball for Constant Spring. And gets by the Meadforest player. And Meadforest have possession once more. Ball intercepted by Wilmot. And defensive work there by Dallas. And that ball sent forward, meeting no one but Everton Ricketts. Jason Dennis now across to Martin. And the referee says it's a foul, and it will be a yellow card. This time for Martin. So will be a free kick. Dangerous position now. Opportunity now, ball struck, and it goes over the bar, and it will be a goal kick for Constant Spring. And the keeper, John-Luc Wilmot, just urging his players forward. Tafari Rubble heads up one, trying to find Rowan Parker, meets the head of Ian Davis. And Sheldon Green could latch on to that one properly. Omari Edwards sends that ball forward for Dylan Edwards. Edwards on the ball, he turns, goes, and that was just wide of the target. What an opportunity. That was an opportunity for Meadforest to go ahead again in this matchup. That wasn't far from the target, but should have put that one on target. That was an opportunity. And a lot of the players just put their hands on their heads in disbelief as they thought that ball swung inside by Dylan Edwards would have been a goal. It's almost 89 minutes gone in this contest. Less than 2 minutes left. And it will be a goal kick for Constant Spring, sent long. Tafari Rubble couldn't latch on to that one. Will be a throw for Meadforest. Defensive work there by Dennis. Challenge now. Carlton Salmon, that ball headed straight to Dale Reed. Intercepted now. Ronaldo Moore chips that ball for Tafari Rubble, but last touch by a Meadforest player. Through taken quickly. Carlton Salmon on the ball, and couldn't latch on to that one properly, and just taken off his feet by Dale Reed. Headed on by Wilmot. Now Tafari Rubble, and now Sheldon Green up to Amari Edwards, turning, trying to get by Everton Ricketts. And that ball goes into touch, and it will be a throw to Constant Spring. Quickly, Wilmot sends that ball forward. And the referee now says 3 minutes of added time. And Constant Spring has another opportunity. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed on! Just gobbled up by Gordon. And the Carlton Salmon with another opportunity to send Constant Spring ahead. And that opportunity wasted. And it's a free kick for Constant Spring. Ball sent forward now. Trying to find Tariq Wilmot. But straight into the hands of the goalkeeper once more, Gordon. The first minute of the injury time has elapsed. As we see Constant Spring on the ball once more. Loses it. And will be a free kick. It seems to be Meadforest. Take it quickly. Rodari Edwards sends that ball for Dylan Edwards, but that one intercepted. Ian Davis on the ball now for Meadforest. And jostle for possession. And that was a free kick declared by the referee, and it will be Constant Springs free kick. Now the second minute will elapse. And Carlton Salmon intercepts. Brevitt back to Wilmot. Wilmot looking for a pass.